What the Fuck is Happening? Episode 6, recorded on the 9th of August 2017. Hello and welcome to What the Fuck is Happening. I'm Jack.
And I'm Nick.
And Nick's finally back. Hello, Nick.
Yay. Hi, I'm back.
We've spent 2 episodes without you, which is like quite a long time, so...
Yes, and I've heard they were the worst episodes in our history.
Well, one of them was okay, and the other was amazing, so...
Yeah, well, shut up.
You missed out on all the banter. We had the big reaction to NAFTA last week, which was great. But anyway, so this week,
To be fair, we've had banter in our pre-shows.
Yeah, we've had quite a lot of dog puke related banter. But anyway, this week we're talking about the Irish election,
The Lib Dems leadership election,
the budget of the United Kingdom,
the Northern Ireland executive,
the rise of the memes, and by that I mean like independent groupings and small parties in MHOC.
and socials, and the US federal election.
Okay, so why don't we get started with the Irish election, don't we? Because that was obviously pretty important. So,
it wasn't really important. Let's not kid ourselves.
well,
Really, no one cared except us.
it was fun. It was a good night. We had Ryan and Branchman and Leechy62 on last week to talk about the election.
Wait, did we actually do live coverage? Or...
We didn't cover the election, but we had
Oh.
people talk about it beforehand, and it was pretty good.
Okay.
So
Okay, so from what I understand, it was basically a conservative win stolen by some weird people.
well, the Conservatives had they had a strange election because somehow they managed to get 5 seats, which I don't think anyone saw coming. They were kind of
Strong and stable.
they were dropping in the polls before the election, and
And they were strong and stable.
they were strong and stable with their 21 manifesto spending commitments and 0 spending cuts, and also a sort of pledge to balance the budget. But let's ignore that. They somehow got 5 seats by lying to the Irish public, and they're now the main opposition party. So that's obviously. So let's just break it down quickly for our viewers who don't really know what's happening. So basically, the ruling party, the Solidarity Party of Ireland, they dropped 3 seats down to 5. We had the Conservatives, who were kind of the successors to Come in the Gael, go up 1 seat. And we had the Progressive Democrats, who were the successor to Fíche Gael, I suppose, drop from 4 to 3. And we had the Labour Party go from no seats to 2. So that was... those were the results, and I think that it was quite strange because Labour and Progressive Democrats obviously kind of run as one big alliance, the Progressive Democrats Labour Alliance, which got 5 seats, Solidarity got 5 seats, and the Conservatives got 5 seats. So it was like a complete even split. And
I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, and just yesterday we found out that the programme for government has passed. We had coalition negotiations, which resulted
Barely
in...
passed. Let me remind you, it passed by 1 vote.
It passed by 1 vote with 2 abstentions. And
1 not vote.
Well, 1 abstention and 1 not vote, but there were various reasons why there was a not vote. And
I don't actually know. Could you explain?
basically, someone forgot to swear in, and then someone didn't get added to the voting sub. So
Do we have the name of that person?
no,
Can we shame them
no,
for their life?
no. We're not going to shame them. Basically,
That's
yeah.
why
So
no one likes-
I think they're going to abstain anyway, but it was so it was 7-6, and then 2
Yeah.
no votes, and yeah, basically, so this is what happened. It's the Solidarity Labour government with Sergio as the Taoiseach and Branchman 577, who we had on last week as Taoiseach. So that was an interesting turn of events. I think a lot of people thought that... Sorry, go
I'm
ahead.
sorry, but isn't Branchman the person who's behind the greatest meme party in the world? The anarcho-primitivists.
No, they're different people.
Are you sure about
Yeah,
that?
different branchmen. That's how the model world works. But
Okay, fine.
yeah, they're so we've obviously yeah, he's now the Taoiseach, and we've got a lot of stuff going on already. It seems like it's going to be a very active Dáil compared to previous ones.
I don't believe so.
You don't think so?
I think it'll fail badly.
Who do you think's going to be the first to drop out of the activity race?
The governments.
You think Solidarity Labour are going to drop out? Because I think Solidarity
course.
were the only active party last term. So
Oh, that's utter rubbish.
it's not. If you
and
look at like
utter
every
rubbish.
single vote that happened in the second half of the term, it was entirely no votes from the opposition.
This is just
I mean,
literally fake news.
it's literal fact, but whatever.
No,
Solidarity had, I think, 100% turnout for the entire term, so fair play to Solidarity on that front.
literally fake news. But sure, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay, let's just ignore Nick, who just calls everything fake news, and
You are fake
listen to
news
me
as well.
telling you actual news. So, yeah, basically, I think that what's going to happen is if any party drops out, it's going to be the Tories because they're big and they're not in the government.
No,
I don't think
no.
they will. I don't think they will.
They
But I
are
think
big.
if any party does, it will be them. But I
I
think
feel
that
like Labour is being taken over Solidarity.
no, I think Labour's too small really to go inactive. They've only got 2 members, and they're both pretty like power members who have shown a lot of activity other than in the Irish government for a
Well, to
certain
be
one of
fair,
them.
it looks pretty good as there's 3 parties and all of them have some senior members in them.
Yeah, that's true. Well, there's 4 parties now because the Progressive Democrats
Four.
Labour Alliance has now ended due to the Labour
Sorry.
coalition.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Well,
So
there's 4 parties. Well,
we've
you know what I mean.
we've got one with Sergio, who's the leader of Solidarity. He was a Taoiseach before, so that's a good sign. We
That
have
isn't a good sign if he's Solidarity.
Unionist Catholic, who
The
was
greatest person of all time.
he also the Taoiseach? I think he was.
Yeah. Oh my god, he was the long-serving Taoiseach.
Yeah, well, he's a leader of the Conservative Party.
Jeez, how can you not know that? He is literally.
I started paying attention to MHOR after, so
Yeah, because. Noob.
and
Okay.
Red Omega 83, leader of the Progressive Democrats, was also the Taoiseach, and I think Branchman was as well actually. After
No, he wasn't.
oh no,
Branchman
sorry, yeah,
was never.
Ryan after Ryan switched over.
Let me
Branchman
remind
didn't get to become the
you
Taoiseach,
that
but he was the leader of Físe Gael.
if we look at the facts, we can see that the Tories have the largest number of former Taoiseachs in their party, of a
Mhm.
total of 4 Taoiseachs.
Yeah, I think Progressive Democrats have 2, and Solidarity have
1.
only 1.
Oh no, 2 is Shane.
They've got IB Tonic. They've got.
That's 2.
Wait, no, was he a Taoiseach?
Was he?
I don't think so, actually.
Oh,
I think he
that's
nearly
interesting. He was head moderator, but
was.
I
Right.
mean president. I don't know.
Yeah, okay. They have one with Sergio, who's
Yeah.
former Taoiseach, and Fiacre, who is also a former Taoiseach.
Okay, so they have 3 and 2.
2 or 3, depending on whether
Okay,
IB Tonic
yeah.
was a Taoiseach or not, and we can't answer that. But yeah, so a lot of very senior membership in all of these parties, very politically active, so that should be interesting. And
Yeah.
we've got so yeah, the program for government's passed. We've got all our ministers up. There's should be legislation going up tonight actually, which will be interesting to see. I wonder how the parties are going to cooperate. But it's set up to look like a very interesting term because it is a minority government with basically not really a majority democratic mandate, but they're going to have to rule
Yep.
with the 7 TDs they have, and we'll see how.
Can I just
Does-
point out, the funniest thing is, there's 3 model sims, and all 3 of them. I mean, there's 4 in total, but
Well, there's a lot
3
more, but
parliamentary. There are 3 parliamentary sims, and each of them has simulated elections, and they each have a minority government. Literally,
I don't know if it's
all-
true for all 6 of them.
what do you mean? Oh yeah, those.
You're
con-
forgetting the ones outside of the Anglosphere, but
No one cares about them. They're not relevant.
we literally had the Dutch Prime Minister on the show last week.
That means why? Okay, fine, sure.
Okay.
They're not relevant because they're fake news. They don't exist in my mind.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
I'm crazy.
basically, that's what we've got going on. We've got
Okay, yeah, that's interesting, and I hope to see some more developments in the future
Yeah,
from that.
cool. So now let's move on to our whole MHawk section.
Oh boy.
There's a lot going on over here. For one, we just had in the last hour or so the results of the Liberal Democrats party leadership election,
Very
which
spicy.
was
Very spicy.
very spicy results. It resulted in Demon fourth. I don't remember what the numbers are after his name, and I don't really care, to be
372.
honest. And yeah, basically
370.
he got dethroned by Rick Caldwell, who only just defected to the Lib Dems this term. So
Long live the king.
yeah, so we've got I think Rick Cole's actually, is he watching still? I know he was. Oh, we've got 12 viewers. That's
Let's
many.
see what. Well, we had 13 a second.
Ooh.
So,
We do have Rick Cole
so
here in watching in the audience. Hello.
can you actually see
Congratulations
who's
on the
watching?
leadership.
If
Um,
he's watching, yeah, okay, nice.
so
Well,
yeah, this is an interesting term. I mean, I'd say that the Lib
no,
Dems are probably gonna still stay in the official opposition. I don't see why they
I don't
would.
think so. Personally, look, I think that the government will survive for a bit longer if they can convince the new Lib Dems to support them. As if I'm being honest with you, I believe that the government will collapse soon after James took
Well, the
power.
government's a lame duck. We know that there's an election coming very soon. We've got I feel like actually we kind of glossed over that almost, which I think would be a good thing to talk about now, which is the by-elections coming up tomorrow.
Oh, is there? Oh my
Yeah,
God, are you serious?
this is for
Tomorrow?
SPQR, the former First Minister of Northern Ireland. His seats are both up for
Uh,
election. There's his MP seat and his MLA seat, obviously, and we've got a broad range of parties contesting. So let me just get this up now, actually. So
okay, that is. I didn't realize it was tomorrow.
yeah,
And
those by-elections are tomorrow. So basically, for the Assembly seat, we've got the Ulster Unionist Party standing Geog. We've got the New Unionist Party standing James the 15th. We've got the Workers' Party of Ireland standing. I'm not even going to read that name because there's a lot of letters and
Spud.
numbers.
I'm just calling him Spud.
Northern Irish Greens, Agent Nola, Classical Liberals, Radio Free Kekistan, Agrarian League, Ildicho is Right, and Sinn Féin Ishabad.
Okay, can I just point out that each of them have someone from outside the region, which I find
I don't think so.
horrible.
I
Yes.
think the Agrarian League candidate is in Northern Ireland.
No. 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 No.
He's definitely moved there,
No,
and
he
that's where
hasn't.
his main political base of operations is. I know that
Well,
much.
now it is, but he isn't
But
from
yeah,
there.
every other. Actually, I think the Workers' Party of Ireland, actually, all of their candidates are local. So
Yeah, that's true.
we've got and funnily enough, I'd say that it probably is going to be a battle between those two parties, the Agrarian League and the Workers' Party, which are two very new parties.
I don't think so. I think
And I think we're all over the place here, so I think
unionists.
it's about time that we probably mention our meme parties, because I think this ties in here.
Oh, um,
So
fine, sure.
let's talk about all the independent groupings we've had rising up. So obviously there's the classical liberals who are not an independent grouping; they're a party, but they're fairly new. They've only got one seat in the Lords, one seat in the Commons,
Well,
and
that is more than most other parties.
yeah,
It's
they've one seat
thing
in
is that
Holyrood as
uh,
well.
the model world has a very deep tradition of those meme parties. For example, we have the what was it? Give me an example from Mark.
From M Horror.
M Hawk.
Oh, M Hawk. I can't really give
Is
you
it
one
Mark?
because I've not been around for that long.
For example, I guess Taylor Swift party.
Taylor Swift, yeah, the radical. I mean, yeah, let's talk about the new ones we have because I think they're
What
pretty
are they?
important. So we've got.
I don't even know them.
So let's do them one by one. So we got the Agrarian League.
Could you actually call them a? Like
I
I
know that
see.
the agrarian leader is not very happy with me calling his party a meme, but I affirm that it is a meme. They used to be the anarcho-primitivist party.
Oh,
They're
actually, oh yeah, okay, yeah, there.
they're now the
But
agrarian
I
league.
I see where they stand. They're like
Yeah,
they're a right wing version of the Greens.
yeah. Well, they seem more like purely distilled populism to me. Like I think that's the only word I can use to describe them.
With a lot of craziness mixed in.
Yeah. And they've got some nice campaign ads, manifestos. They're actually campaigning, which is one thing that will help them in this election. Then we've got our next main party, which is the Communist Refoundation grouping,
Oh
which
my gosh.
was
Can we like stop with these weird communist
well, I
parties?
mean, they're gonna replace the RSP probably or not. It's kind of they're like the new Republican Sinn Féin. They've got a very active Irish branch, which is the Workers' Party of Ireland, which is a nationalist party. They claim they're neither green nor orange, but they want a 32 county socialist workers' republic. So, um,
They're red, aren't they? Then,
they're red and green. Let's be real. So,
but how are they
um,
green?
because they supported a socialist Irish republic.
Yeah,
They
yes, but
quote James Connolly in their manifesto, so
well, a lot of parties do that for God's sake. Like,
yeah, but
I
that
don't
makes
think
them Irish nationalists, which is what the Green is for. So
fine. We can call them that. I don't like that. But listen, I can't take these parties seriously unless, like, I don't really know what makes a good party. Like,
yeah,
no one knows. But once it's a good party, you know it. Like, you can actually see that it's a proper party,
yeah,
not a meme party. For example, from the beginning, I knew the classical liberals were a proper party.
yeah, and it's pretty clear that they are. Um,
But I can't really take these other parties seriously, no matter if they claim to be not a meme or something.
I mean, it can take Agrarian League seriously to some extent, and I can also take Communist Refoundation seriously because they're not memes in that their policy is quite serious and they're advocating for it quite a lot, but they're memes in that they're memes. I don't really think there's a
Yes.
better way of describing it, but
Uh,
that's it. And we've also got some other ones. We've got the newly formed Technocratic Party, which was
I
formed.
haven't heard of them. If
I
did you?
What's the person who formed again? David Swifty.
Oh my god, okay, okay. He formed the party I mentioned earlier.
Yeah, the Taylor Swift Party.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so that's one of the new meme parties we got is the Technocracy Party. They hate democracy. They think that it's broken, and yeah, that's what they want to do.
Well, they are wrong and they should feel wrong.
I'm looking at their manifesto now. Actually, it's
Could you link me it so
yeah, sure,
we can go step by step in it.
right. So
We could laugh at it. Sorry.
yeah, so this is their manifesto, and
Right.
it's all about the technocracy movement. They want to replace politicians and businessmen with scientists and engineers.
But
Who the
isn't
tech?
that just a dictatorship?
Uh, I mean, in a way, yes, but it's more like ruled by experts than ruled by one person.
But don't you know that Britain has had enough of experts?
Yep, I do know this. And I mean, literally, the second heading of their manifesto is why democracy is bad. So
Okay, and they want to compete in a democratic election,
yeah, yeah,
and
basically.
um, so they have a solution. If they lose an election, they can claim that democracy.
Yeah, I
Oh,
suppose so. We've who else do we have? We've got the um the Transport Party, which just formed today.
you know what?
The Transport Party. Let me find this. It's
Can we like stop making up meme parties?
now this party seems genuinely serious, but they are also a huge meme. They're a single issue transport party. Crazy K9 is the founder. Um,
Okay. Yep, that is
yeah,
fine.
they've got a big list of policies. They want to review speed limits to bring them into line with other nations. Um, they want to review rail infrastructure, review bus services,
Okay,
review driving. There's a lot of reviewing and not a whole lot of
well,
acting.
I can see the point of their party. Like,
Yeah,
okay,
they want to.
that's fine. They aren't that much of a meme, but like, is it really a cause for a party? Like, they can
They were
do
offered a
without.
merger with the Technocratic Party. I personally think that they should merge with the Liberal Democrats and form the Maglev Party. I think that that's the best solution there
Yes,
is.
yes, I agree. I agree completely.
Mm-hmm. We've so I think that that's all of our meme parties, and I think that two of them are the main contenders to win the Northern Irish election because, in
What?
terms of UUP, Noonie, Sinn Féin, none of them have really been campaigning. I mean, Ishabad has been campaigning for Sinn Féin, but it's been pretty laughable. Let me see if I can find some of these. Um,
Well, you know he's a DUP member. Like
he was a
switched.
DUP member just before the
They
election.
yes.
Oh yeah, here it is. he this post is 3 upvotes. Ishabad
Do
arrives in Belfast and starts speaking. Today I gather here in Belfast to commemorate the start of a campaign that will bring about a new Northern Ireland, my friends. Sinn Féin will always be there for you. And so today I announce my candidacy for Northern Ireland by-election, as well as the Stormont Assembly by-election, my friends. Let's create a better Northern Ireland together. And then the top comment from Giraffism: it is a great honour to witness what I can only assume will go down in history as the greatest speech ever delivered. 10
I saw that.
upvotes.
Yeah, I remember.
Oh,
I
it's
remember.
great. So good. Oh, Plaid Cymru, I forgot about them. They formed like a couple months ago. And it's just one guy. But good luck to Plaid Cymru. You guys can do it. Woo. We've yeah, so we've got that, and yeah, so obviously Sinn Féin are not really in the contention to win this by-election unless we're going purely off previous election results. I think that there's a very strong chance that either the Agrarian League or the Communist Party will pull a win. Now, I don't think that based on I think that the Communist Party still have significant challenges and that they are very, very extremist in the political spectrum, and that one, they are nationalists, and two, uh, they're obviously Marxists. So they've got this big hurdle to overcome of actually, getting votes from
Oh yeah, yeah, totally. But I can see their future, and it isn't very bright.
yeah, I don't think they're going to win the by-election just because of the fact that their vision is too sort of acute.
Divisive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I think that in an election that covers the entirety of Northern Ireland, you're gonna have to do a lot more than that if you want to win that seat. So,
Like make great speeches like Ishabad.
like Ishabad's speech, yeah. But so and I think the Agrarian League are at an advantageous position in that they are an other party, so they've got a demographic that they can target that is
Are they another part?
they're
Are you
not
sure they
nationalist
are?
or unionist.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
Interesting. I
So
did. Actually, they're units,
yeah,
but
they're non-sectarian, so
okay.
they're
Let's.
they've got that because the Alliance aren't running. They've got that sort of vote share to tap into.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
They've got
But
sort of the more moderate vote, Ulster Unionist Party, former SDLP voters. That lots of that sort of demographic might go to the Agrarian League.
that is
Even
very
Green Party voters who transfer, they could all go to Agrarian because the Green Party didn't submit a manifesto or anything, so obviously they're at a disadvantage there. So I think Agrarian League do have the best sort of transfer potential in that they've got such a big broad tent that they're going to benefit quite a lot from transfers.
I think
Whereas
they're learning from the last election.
learning from Noonie, I think they're learning
Yeah.
from Alliance last election. Noonie survived on protest votes from Republican Sinn Féin. Let's not forget that fact. So and what else do we have to
Well,
talk about? We've
while we're on the topic of Northern let's bring up the fact that the Secretary of State met with the executive. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I did see that.
What's your
So,
opinion on that?
I don't know. It sounded like the the secretary was trying to make more drama than it actually was. It didn't seem like a big deal to me, but it
Well,
was
it was a positive thing.
it was a positive thing. I agree. It showed
It
a lot of
showed that the communities can come together and work together for peace.
yeah, but there wasn't a whole lot of controversy involved. It was quite
How
positive.
how was there was yeah, it was perfect. Okay, but let's move on to something far more important and overall more important, which is the budget that isn't going to pass.
Yeah, the budget. So obviously the Liberal Democrats essentially wrote this budget and then rejected it. Good job, Lib Dems. Um,
That's
and
James logic. I
we had
mean, Demon logic.
we had
Whatever.
Spindleshire, who was the a National Unionist Party MP, was he kind of voted against his party whip and got suspended in a post by Lord Wagbo entitled "The Naughtiest Boy."
And a lot of things happened which led to his expulsion and it's like yeah, he's
Yeah.
basically gone. No party's in.
So yeah, there's an NUP vote going against it. So the budget's probably not going to pass. Kind of similar to the fate of the Companies Act, which just failed today. So we've got that's the sort of situation we've in where we've got a budget that's about to fail. So I wonder what that's going to mean for the government. The government's already on its last legs. It's a lame duck government. It shouldn't have waited this late in the term to try and get a budget through. And
Well, the budget has been in the works for time, but the chancellor has been replaced 3 times past
yeah,
couple of months.
yeah. So there is a bit of a there's obviously a bit of a problem with passing the
Well,
budget, but
let's look at the actual budget. It's
yeah,
an utter disgrace, if you ask me personally. Um,
it's just communism light, to be honest. They've just
yeah, and it's being passed by a right-wing government.
yeah, they've
Like, it
downgraded a
is an
little.
utter disgrace.
I mean, I can
I,
see why they need to make like gradual changes off of like the communist budget that Colossal
but
left for
it
them, but
is the same as it was. I believe that it is a betrayal for all their values and whatever integrity they still have left.
let's
Like,
be real, it is better than the last one, and
oh,
it was a
it is,
massive
but it
challenge for them to
isn't
get
good
through.
enough. I have one message through for the government. I asked them to resign this one in time.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say that the government is probably quite likely to fall very soon. I'd say that the failure of the budget is a disaster, and that the government probably should resign and call an election now because of the failure of their budget. I think that now is as good a time as ever for the Conservatives to seek their mandate to try and pass another budget. So
I
we'll see how that goes. But I personally think that
I agree completely.
yeah, it's about time they should be looking to have another election. Let the British
Okay,
people show their will.
of course, but where are we? So, what's the next thing we have to talk
Okay,
about?
yes, the next thing we have to talk about is the United States of America and the federal elections. And joining us in the studio, we have the chairman of the Federal Election Commission, Ed underscore San. Hello.
Hello, hello everyone.
So, obviously, the federal elections have just gotten underway, and there was quite a sort of shockwave of a result. Actually, it was a huge election. Let me get my results up right here.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a really big election, which is surprising for a midterm, meaning the president wasn't up for election here. It was a third of the Senate, and then the House was being reshuffled.
Yeah,
And there were some pretty big results as coalitions that people thought were going to stay in power going into this kind of dissolved and reformed around new lines.
yeah. So obviously, the main thing we have is the broad left coalition collapsing, which
Hmm.
the Democrats used to hold their like sort of dominance in the House, and they've seen their seat total go down like quite a lot. I think it was 14 after the last election.
Yeah,
now
so
it's
14 coming into this election, and they left with 9.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, it was the Democrats and the Republicans actually took the biggest hits this election, both losing 5 seats.
yeah. So
Um,
they had
yeah.
obviously a lot of damage done to them, and
Yes,
the
but look at the positions. We have a Republican speaker.
Well, yeah, obviously the way things configured themselves after the election kind of came out of a necessity of just how much the GOP and the Democrats took a hit. It's in the House, the coalition that we basically see is an anti-socialist coalition. It's every party against the socialists who do have a plurality in the House.
yeah, and so the Green leftists have turned against the socialists as opposed to staying with them.
Yeah, it looks to be the case, though. I'm hearing going into state elections that they're kind of becoming loyal again, but obviously we won't know until we know.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that another thing is that Sunrise completely collapsed almost. They're sort of they it was basically a deadlock in the House before, and now they've gone down quite a lot due to like
Yeah,
gains from the Liberals and the Socialists.
yeah. The biggest thing that we could see there was just the lack of the Libertarians being able to grow. They only lost 2 seats, but the fact is the 8 seats that they had going into the election was already a decrease from their former glory. They used to be one of the biggest parties in the sim. They were very close to rivaling the GOP in relevance on the right, but now they're just dropping to the point where they actually had a vote to merge with the Republicans.
Wow.
So you really see that Sunrise just does not have the clout to continue existing in the House.
However, the Libertarians do have one more seat in the Senate than the Republicans do, so
Yeah, they
let's give
do,
them
and that
that.
comes well, and that comes from them, the Republicans giving away the seat in their home state,
Yeah,
which was in hindsight, I'm sure the Republicans are kicking themselves over that.
yeah, and I imagine that independent seat in the middle of the House that I see is that a certain
So
racist.
that no, well, the one you're thinking about is Silver Legion, and they're in the bottom right.
No, I mean the other one.
Yeah, the one next to the Democrats. So that was actually a user going by Suleiman Kane. He
Oh,
used to go by
okay.
Solomon Kane. He just last night he actually resigned and gave that seat to the socialists. So
Oh,
that seat was originally a socialist seat, which was then given to Solomon, which has now been given back to the socialists. So
wow.
that seat has had a lot of like mile time on it.
Yeah. No, I was thinking of someone else that was expelled from the Democrats, but
Oh yeah, that's in the Senate. That's Galik's Nomir device,
yeah,
who's also in charge of CM Hawk, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah.
There's currently a resolution on the Senate floor being discussed to expel him from the House, and he's one of the senators.
Right. And so would his seat be independent right now?
Yeah, that's technically
So
independent
does that
right now.
mean the Democrats have one Senate seat?
Yeah, they have
Wow.
one. They have one declared Senate seat.
So the Democrats have the same amount of Senate seats as the Distributists do. How
Yeah,
wonderful.
yeah. And then if you're looking at the Senate, you can see a party that really shouldn't have as many seats as it does, that being the Liberals.
The Liberals, yeah,
You know,
they got a lot of gains in the
yeah,
Senate. They're the second
that
biggest party.
yeah, they got 2 extra seats this election. They won half of the races going on, and it's pretty surprising. They ended up winning Central, which is kind of their base of operations,
Yeah.
and then Western, where they just kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah, well, I think
Um,
that's the thing is that a lot of their votes are coming from because they're very handily positioned at the center.
yeah,
That's certainly helping them quite a lot because they're getting a lot of votes from basically the parties who will lose out in the earlier counts and transfer their votes because a lot of the Senate races are conducted through IRV. So
yeah.
that's
And
how
that's
they win
why.
Western.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Like the liberal candidate there, Hugh Kerpoga, he almost didn't. He almost didn't make it into the second round. He
Yeah.
was like pretty lowly ranked, but he just started snowballing as people got knocked out. So it's really showing. I think a lot of the major parties are starting to reconsider if they want to continue supporting IRV, just because it seems like it's going to negatively impact them.
Yeah,
Biggest
yeah.
parties I can see that would be against it be the Socialists, Democrats, and the Republicans.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, the Democrats would previously be a center ground, but the Liberals have taken all of that away.
Yeah,
So
they have.
we have a couple of new parties. We've got the Silver Legion, who managed to take a House seat in Connecticut, which
Yep.
was interesting enough for them, and we'll see how that affects them going into the state elections very soon.
Yeah. I think the biggest reason they have that seat is that they sapped the old GOP base that used to be up in the northeastern state,
Yeah,
also called the Atlantic Commonwealth. They basically sapped all of those votes, and they were able to take away which used to be a safe. The GOP had won one seat in that state for like the last three elections.
yeah, yeah.
So I see we're going to see the Silver Legion just taking over that role for the time being.
Okay. Well, I wonder, will they? Is that sort of their base of operations now? Is that where they hope to expand to sort of
Yeah.
unseat the socialist hellhole that the Socialist Party has created?
I think
So
that is their plan. As far as I know, they are submitting a governor candidate.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
It's Il Duce was right, isn't it? Their
yeah,
leader.
yeah,
So
hmm
that should be interesting.
yeah.
And
I don't think it's gonna get much traction, but he's gonna be an interesting candidate.
we've also got the Christian Democratic Party coming up.
Hmm Yeah,
They're
newly formed.
newly formed. They've got, I think there's some talks about them having a lieutenant governor candidate somewhere.
Yeah, if anything, I wouldn't doubt it if they either tried to side with the distributists in Midwest,
Yeah,
or if they tried to work something out, maybe with the liberals.
yeah, yeah. I think that one of their candidates, one of their members, is running as an independent in Eastern as well. So
Hmm
that will be interesting to see how that turns out.
Yeah,
Um,
they
and
also might be getting a House seat soon because of a defection.
yeah,
But yeah, but that's pending, I think.
I think that's Skeetumus Prime, maybe.
Yeah, I
That's the
believe
right name.
so. I don't
Okay,
know if he's officially changed yet, but I
okay,
know that he was thinking about joining.
right. So yeah, there's obviously quite a bit there, and um, so yeah, there's the elections have definitely left a big shockwave as the
Hmm
socialists just gained a crap ton of dominance. If they can manage to reassemble the broad left coalition after essentially taking it over, having the president and the most amount of seats in the Senate and the House,
hmm
they're definitely in a good position to keep going forward.
Yeah.
Much to our friend Nick here's regret, I would imagine.
Yeah.
So how are you feeling about this, Nick? Now that Big Boss, your biggest demon, has taken over the country.
No comment.
Well, if nothing else, the socialists are definitely going to have a lot of work going forward, just because it seems like everyone really is trying to work against their intended agenda.
Yeah,
Uh, Most interesting though is that the liberals in the Senate seem to have like struck a deal more or less with the senatorial socialists, and have been trying to push forward a lot of the same agendas. So that's
Hmm.
actually pretty surprising. Like they supported each other for various positions in the Senate. Majority leader went to the liberals, while minority and president pro tempore went to the socialists. Then the socialists and the liberals are also the ones who are supporting the expulsion of Golux from the Senate.
Hmm. So
Yeah,
then it probably will happen.
yeah. I
So
mean that right there is eight votes.
yeah, so that's pretty interesting. So this sort of, is that some sort of like alliance coming up, a new electoral pact between the socialists and the liberals? That would be quite
I don't.
strange.
The thing is, I feel like as if though the Senate delegation has just more or less gone rogue. Like they're led by U. Cameron Galiski, uh, former CM Hawker.
Yeah.
He's I think more or less gone rogue on the liberal leadership, and he's gotten a lot of his senatorial
Wow.
colleagues to do so with him.
That's kind of strange. It's
Yeah,
this has definitely been this is a weird election, and it's going to lead to even weirder things in the future. So thank you very much, Ed, for coming on and talking to us all about this.
yeah.
It
No,
was
thank
lovely
you
to
for
have you
having me.
on. All right, and thank you very much. So I think that that sort of puts us at the end, I guess.
Yep, I assume so.
Let me just kind of roll my outro music, which I have now lost because I'm an unprofessional host.
Just like always.
Uh huh. So just filler talk, please.
Great. Stuff was great.
I assume that you've just been silent through that entire segment just because of how upset you are about the socialist victory. So,
No, I'm just watching meme.
of course you are. You're watching memes during the podcast. Typical Nick. It's great to have you back.
Can we like play the thing I posted in chat?
No, we can't. We can, I'll tell you what we can do though. We can get rid of our
Play
visual aids and put this up.
Yes.
This is a certain person's dog puke.
Oh
so,
god.
I hope y'all are enjoying that, but let's, so, yeah, that was a good podcast.
That's great.
It's great to talk about everything again, and...
Most really, can we play the video I put?
I can't. But next week, we'll be back once more. So, goodbye from me, Jack.
And me, Nick.
And we'll see you all later.